Hello everyone. In today's session, we'll discuss about database systems. Specifically in this session, I will talk to you about transactions. Now, as soon as I talk to you about transactions, the first thing comes to your mind is transactions. What is transactions? So everyone has their own meaning, own understanding of transactions. So let us understand what do you know about transaction. Just tell me, what is your meaning of transactions? ठीक है. जब मैं ट्रांजेक्शन की बात करता हूँ तो मेरे मन में आता है कि बैंक ट्रांजैक्शन, कि मैंने एक ट्रांजैक्शन किसी और के अकाउंट में किया, मैंने पैसे आपको दिए, ये एक ट्रांजैक्शन. सम पीपल मे थिंक अबाउट दैट ट्रांजैक्शंस आर in relationship, in friendship, there are transactions. So I give you something, you give me back something. Sometimes people talk about in I give you some value, you give me money. Value can be in any product, value can be in anything, value can be in any service, and you give me whatever in kind or in value the return. We generally talk about transactions as relationships have become transactional as well. That as soon as I keep on providing your necessities, you keep on providing my necessities as well. But understand whatever is your definition of transaction, that is first of all understand that जब तक आपको ही नहीं पता होगा ट्रांजेक्शन क्या है, तब उसके बाद अगर मैं कुछ नया डालने की कोशिश करूंगा वो यहाँ पे नहीं टिकेगा. तो हमारा पर्पस, आवर पर्पस इज दैट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज ट्रांजेक्शन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फॉर यू, and then the new definition of database systems. Transactions in database systems will be the one that will be correlated or connected with whatever your definition is. So my purpose here is not to give you the rote definition of the book. Again, the book also has very interesting definitions in one way, but make sure that whatever your meaning of transaction is, you realize, you understand and take action upon the meaning of transactions in database systems. Okay, I am Dr. Amit Dua. I am assistant professor at BITS Pilani, and in today's session and in the series of sessions we will talk about transactions in database systems specifically. So the agenda of today's discussion is very simple. We will talk about what transactions are, we will also talk about why do we need transactions, then the details of it, asset properties and whatnot. So the things will keep on moving further. It may be a longer session, it may be a shorter session depending upon where you are watching, but I will make sure that it becomes interesting and it becomes easy for you to understand and apply. Okay, let us understand that what exactly is a transaction, and then we will try to understand that why do we need transaction in database systems. After that point of time, there is a need of how the transactions are applied, the asset properties, the schedules, the concurrency and whatnot. First of all, why do we need transactions and what exactly are the transactions first of all. So to understand, the transaction is a collection, and the definition of transaction is it's a collection of a group of instructions which can be combined together as a logical unit. It has some other, you can say, the complex words, but basically these are two important terms: collection of operations which can be logically combined together as a unit basically. So when I say that when I'm transferring some money to you, it also has series of steps, it also has multiple steps. So जब मैं आपके अकाउंट में या मेरे अकाउंट से आपके अकाउंट में कुछ पैसे जाते हैं, तब क्या होता है? डेफिनेटली फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट इट इज चेक दैट सपोज आई वांट टू ट्रांसफर 1 लाख रुपीज, आई एम ट्रांसफरिंग 500 रुपीज टू यू, चलेगा? ठीक है. सो आई एम ट्रांसफरिंग 500 रुपीज टू यू. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट इज चेक दैट माई बैलेंस इज करेक्ट. My bank balance has 500 rupees. Then whatever is the amount, let's say my bank balance is 10,000 rupees. Now in those 10,000 rupees, the money from my bank balance is deducted, and it is also checked that you also have a correct bank account, isn't it? Then the money 500 rupees is added to your bank account, and the next checks and balances need to be done such a way that, for example, if suppose there is a bank, ABC Bank, which I am having an account in that bank there is a provision that the bank balance of a particular account should be more than 10,000 rupees, and if it falls below, then some SMS need to be triggered or some penalty need to be triggered, and so on and so forth. So whatever the things, it may look at very simple that I am just transferring 500 rupees to your from my account to your account, but it also is a logically many steps that are taken together. So yes, it's a transaction because it's a collection of operations, many of them, and they're combined together as a single unit. Now one may scratch his or her head and say that why combined together as a single unit? Why do we say that it's a transaction? We can also do that individually, check it across, individually reduce my account, individually add to your account. Why is there a necessity to club together these operations as transaction? Primarily because of the operation that it is, primarily because what we are doing is a fundamentally different than any other series of operations. Why so? Because it may be possible that the system on which we are working fails, or it may be possible that some other calamity happens, or whatever, power failure, or network failure, or system failure, or some way or other there is a reason because of which the resources are not allocated, or the processor is not allocated, whatever it may be the cause, hard disk failed, or the processor did not respond, whatever may be. Then if half of the instructions or one of the instruction is executed and other is not executed, then the system is not in a proper state now. Hypothetically speaking, the bank balance is reduced from my account and there is a failure, power failure, network failure, hard disk failure, processor failure, or the resources are not allocated. At that point of time, my account has reduced and your account has not increased. That is not a good, happy situation for us. So that is why whenever we are working in a transaction, it's a group of step of instruction which need to be executed as a whole, as a complete being. That is why they are called as transactions. So if your understanding of transaction is complete, then the next set of things we will discuss about why do we need transactions at all. So if you say that this is a transaction, somewhat you may understand that yes, that's okay. But then we'll understand what are the properties of transaction. Then we'll also understand that why do we need transaction and what happens when we work in a transaction.